right, look, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of game because I'm about to jump out this truck and fire my day up, right? I remember I ran into this guy at the gas station. And he had one of those newer F-250s. This was years ago. And I remember I was standing behind him in line. He was like, yeah, let me get 400 on pump one. I'm like, 400 on pump one? So I looked out there. He was filling his boat up. He wasn't filling his truck up. He was filling his boat up. And it was a coworker. It was me and a coworker in the gas station, and it was that guy. And I said, man, screw this. I just got to know. So I went up to him. I said, man, it's a nice boat you got. He said, oh, man, I appreciate it, man. I said, man, if you don't mind me asking, man, what you got to do to afford something like this? Get what he said. He said, oh, man, I own my own business. I said, man, that's cool. I said, man, what kind of business you do? Lawn and landscaping. He told me the name of his company. The guy only got 2 trucks on the road. Only 2. And I see him all the time. I'm like, dang, he done figured out how to get out of the truck and let these guys work the business for him. And the whole time I was at work, I was thinking about this. I said, man, how do you do this if you're already on a job and you're not making enough as it is? And I remember I was talking to an older guy at work. He said, Gibson, he said, man, what you got to do is you can't spend more than what you make. I said, man, that's foolish. If we already barely making enough to survive, what you mean don't spend more than you make? He said, no, that ain't true. He said, before you came to this job, he said, is this the highest paying welding job you ever had? At that time, it wasn't. He said, what was your profession before you jumped into welding? And I told him. He said, you see how your lifestyle changed? When you start making more money, the average person go get them a newer, not brand new, a newer vehicle. And when they really start making money, they either go get them a bigger apartment, better apartment, or a house or a bigger house. He said most people, Gibson, their lifestyle don't change, and they take all the extra money that they're making and they invest it into themselves. And then 10 years later, a guy like you will run into somebody and you'll be asking them, man, how did you get here? When the whole time they started out just like you. And he told me about his co-worker he had. They was friends for years and still friends. And his co-worker, they both worked 7 days a week overtime. But one of his co-workers, the guy that worked 7 days a week overtime, took all his money, started a roofing business, and it got to the point where the co-worker was doing a roof every weekend. It went to the man doing a roof every Saturday. Then he started doing it every Saturday and every Sunday. Then he started having to miss work on Friday so he can work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then eventually he just quit his full-time job altogether. And then he started working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday instead of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then which led into Thursday, and he had every weekend off the hustle. You have to take the extra money you receive on your full-time job and reinvest it back into yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to be stuck on this thing we call a rat wheel, and you will never get off. Now you can hate what I'm saying, but that's the fact of that is the reality of what's true. Y'all start making money, you go buy. Look, I see 90% of the lawn guys in my area, when their business start becoming profitable, they go buy a brand new truck. Why do you need a brand new truck? They will buy a brand new truck with the same setup they got instead of upgrading their setup, get the truck last. I upgraded my setup and upgraded my truck last. I told y'all, my first work truck was a truck with no AC. But I upgraded my setup while I was still sweating in that truck. Then I was able to upgrade my truck. It's simple, guys. It's fairly simple.